Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Chris and today I'm going to be talking all about DJI Care Refresh. I know, super exciting. If you caught my last video, you will have seen that I sadly lost my DJI Neo recently. And when I say lost, I of course mean crashed it into a tree and sunk it into an irrigation ditch. Man, what was that just fell in? Was that the drone? Ah, it went in the water! And some people in the comments were asking me if I could share my experiences with DJI's Care Refresh service. And I figured, while I don't have a drone to fly, I might as well make a really quick video to talk you through that. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I feel like I should have some kind of an intro really, but I don't really have one. Sorry. It's really muddy here. But before we get started, if you enjoy this video, please do drop me a like. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, then do subscribe because I've got plenty more planned and I'd love you to join me on the journey. Okay, so what is DJI's Care Refresh? Think of it as a bit of an insurance policy for your drone. For me, with the Neo, it cost me £19 to cover the drone for the year, and that gave me 2 replacements. Now these replacements can either be for things like accidental damage if you can no longer fly the drone, or it can also be for what they call flyaway. Now flyaway seems to cause some confusion. I've seen a lot of people who assume that flyaway means the drone itself has physically flown away due to an error with the drone. That's not necessarily the case. You can actually claim flyaway for any loss of a drone, including, sinking at the bottom of an irrigation ditch. Now, it's important to note that you can only claim 1 flyaway for the year. The other claim that you get will just be a regular accidental damage claim. So now the next inevitable question that people have is, how do DJI prevent fraudulent claims from people who just want another cheap drone? Well, they've actually got a really nice way to tackle that. They'll ask you to go into the Fly app, into the settings for your drone, and there's a flyaway option. If you press that, you get a 10-second countdown, and when that 10 seconds finishes, your drone is effectively bricked. That means that nobody else can fly it, and it's basically completely unusable. Pretty clever. So how does the actual process work? So for me, I went onto the website and I found the flyaway request form. Now I should note that that is separate to the regular Care Refresh form for accidental damage and that kind of stuff. And from there I submitted a flyaway report. So basically they ask you to confirm which drone has flown away. They ask you to give a brief description of the incident and also to confirm your shipping address. Now once I'd submitted that, I had to wait for about 24 hours, maybe just under, to get a reply from their customer service team. Oh, and by the way, just a side note, they confirmed that I would only be dealing with that one agent for the entire process. So if I had any questions, I could just go back to them and ask. It wasn't going to be transferred around a bunch of different people all over the world, which, to be honest, with big companies can sometimes be a problem. So I was really happy about that. And this customer service agent basically outlined 2 options for me. Now for option 1, they offered to do a flight analysis. And what that basically means is I can send over the full logs of my drone's flights and they can have a look and they can figure out if they think something with the drone had gone wrong, causing it to crash or fly away. If they find that's the case, they'll give you a completely free replacement, which I think is actually really good. Now it's important to note, I think you only have flight logs if you've been using the mobile app. So that's either by using the phone directly or with compatible controllers. Now because I'd been using the motion controller and the N3 goggles, I didn't have any flight data for any of my FPV flights, so it wasn't any good to me. Plus, it was kind of entirely my fault that it crashed, so I can't really claim it was the drone, can I? Now for option 2, if I either didn't have any access to any flyaway data, or I felt there was no fault for the drone, it was just me being an idiot, then I could opt to pay a relatively small fee for a new drone. For me, in the UK, that fee was £62. Now interestingly, on their website they quoted £75 for the flyaway cost. I don't know why it was cheaper, but I'm not going to argue. So I confirmed with the customer support agent I was happy to go with the £62 and get the replacement drone. They then sent me a simple link to a payment portal and they started to process the delivery. Now I've literally, just as I'm filming this video, I've just had my email through to say that the drone has arrived at the pickup location I've selected. So all in all, end to end, from very first report right through to actually receiving the drone has taken me just 5 days. I think that's a great level of service. It'll obviously take you a bit longer if you've got to send a drone back to them because you've damaged it and they need to inspect it, but for the flyaway, 5 days I thought was really good. And that was it. It was really that simple. I told you this would be a short video because really there wasn't that much to cover. It was actually just a straightforward, simple process with no arguments from DJI at all. They just offered to replace the drone at a really reasonable cost. I'm going to be back soon with another video where I will actually be flying and not just talking at you. But until then, I hope you have a great week and yeah, just keep, I don't know, living. Oh yeah, and like and subscribe if you can. Cheers, bye.